first psychological lecture I'm ever going to do. I'm going to get straight into it. But today's topic is going to be about self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is something that I've seen destroy almost every single trader that's quit the trading space because they cannot handle it. And this ties in heavily towards discomfort and wanting success quickly. So, these people, from what I've seen, 3 to 5 evals, or they just try to make as much money on as much evals as quickly as possible without having any concrete proof of profitability, either hoping it's going to work or thinking that this is the time that they're going to change. Now, with that being said, some people, they're really consistent for, I'd say, a week or two, and then just one loss or something small happens, lack of progress in a vast amount of time causes them to tilt, which I used to do that too. For my whole, I'd say, 3 years of trading, and if I was up for the day and if I took a loss, I just tilted. I would blow funded accounts left and right, and instantly to deal with that discomfort, I bought more evals until I was completely broke. Just straight up buying evals, blow it right away just because I wanted a 1.5k day, get close to being funded again after blowing the funded account because it was so uncomfortable. Now, this discomfort is something that no one wants to deal with, and you probably know that by now. The pain of blowing an eval or a funded account after you've spent weeks of progress on it, you're up on the account, and just blowing it because you couldn't handle one loss is the worst feeling ever. And something I always think about every time I'm in that stage where I'm about to blow an eval, or if I take a loss and I have like the urge to over leverage to make it back because I'm like one $200 winning day away, or I'm close to having a payout, or I'm up a lot on the account and I want a winning day and I want it fast. I think to myself and I just tell myself, would I rather have that pain of blowing everything, my weeks of progress and hard work, or would I rather deal with this pain of a loss and go about my day, which also ties into something else, having a life outside of trading, which I might save that for another lecture. We'll just see how the flow of this video goes. But mainly ties into discomfort and wanting gratification for the people that sabotage themselves. Because when you take a loss in trading, if obviously it's going to feel bad, but how are you going to deal with that? Some people, they want to make it back quickly. They want to just instantly size back into it, and they end up tilting from that as a result. Something that you can do to fix this, which this is what I personally did, was meticulously self-reviewing. I read a ton of psychological books, 48 Laws of Power, overall a lot of Robert Greene, Niccolo Machiavelli, and something almost every great person does, especially entrepreneurs, they meticulously self-review themselves. I journal every single day, no matter what. That's like one of my non-negotiables for my day, and I always review it. Journaling without reviewing it and understanding where you're going wrong or what's triggering you or what's making you tilt will honestly do nothing for you. For me, I never really saw progress when I was doing that. I was journaling, I was doing everything properly, but I wasn't reviewing my journal, which that's where I was at a break-even stage for months on end. And the way I got out of the break-even stage was actually going back in my journal, understanding that my problem personally, I was on the charts for too long, which caused me to take a lower quality loss because I felt like since I was on the charts for 5 hours in a day, it was owed to me. I should have made money that day, right? No, it's just you're paid based on your decisions. I could have gotten off for the day and I wouldn't be down. And the next day, I do everything properly. I'm on the charts. I hit a win early in the morning. I get off. And then the next day, I do the same thing, which taking these low quality setups, which kept me at break even, and I didn't realize it just because I was so focused on like day by day by day what I was doing, just my process, without actually reviewing what I was doing wrong. Now, when I actually started reviewing and understanding where I went wrong, what caused me to take these low quality trades, I was able to see what I was telling myself and how I was going to fix it. I never ended up fixing it until I actually started journaling it and reviewed it. And so what saved it for me was doing exactly what I knew I should be doing. Like, for example, I shouldn't be sitting on the charts for too long. When I get fatigued, price action has already gone still because it's in the middle of the lunch session. I shouldn't be trading and I should just get off. And once I started following that and my other trading advice, like waiting for higher probability setup, waiting for my checklist, waiting for SMT, all sorts of stuff, and if I actually followed through with that, I ended up getting really good results. When I went outside of that, just because I saw a setup that was missing SMT and it looked good and I was break even for the whole week and I wanted to take it, that would end up causing me to take a loss because I was trading outside of my system, outside of my rules, and overall, and causing myself to delay my progress. And speaking of progress, there's two things that you can be doing. You could either be following your rules and get there quick. You'll get there fast by following your rules, doing everything properly, and just seeing the results that come from following your rules. Or you're not going to get there at all if you're just blowing your accounts, not following your rules, and hoping to get lucky, which I've seen some people get payouts from being lucky, but that only reinforces bad habits. That proves to you that you can get lucky once, you might get lucky again. The chances of you getting lucky in trading is so much worse than in the casino. I would rather gamble every single eval fee I had than trying to gamble an eval or gamble a funded account, because the odds are so heavily stacked against you when you're trying to gamble a funded account. It is nearly impossible. There's like a 5% chance of you winning after being down and trying to gamble on no quality setups. And that's what ends up liquidating a lot of traders. How many times have you failed and spiraled out of control, not because of your model, but because of your lack of self control? It's going to be uncomfortable, but you need to sit with the truth and fully understand that you are the reason why you're not profitable right now. You're not consistently taking money outside of the markets. It's not your strategy, it's not your model. It is purely your decisions and your inability to follow your rules, which it sounds like it's hard, but something you can do is just build discipline outside of the charts, having a life outside of the charts. When you fully idolize trading, when you let trading take over your life, that's like the only thing that will be in your head. When I was at school, I took a loss on the day. My whole day was ruined. I had an $800 loss on my Express Funded account on the day, and I had a small tilt, but I recovered it. The whole day I felt horrible. I was purely all in on trading, and that was probably the worst decision I could have made because it just weighed on me negatively. And the next day, I was telling myself, I don't want to take a loss. This is going to ruin me if I take another loss. And the next day, I blew my account because I couldn't handle taking a loss. And if I would have just been patient, the day after I blew the account, a plus setup that would have made me 2.4K, beautiful market maker sell model, and that just made me that made me mad. That made me very mad, honestly. But I learned from it. Every single little experience you will learn from, as long as you're properly journaling and reviewing, which you have to learn from your mistakes and actually follow it. You know what you should be doing, but you're not doing it. You have to be disciplined outside the charts and be able to tell yourself what you should be doing, not given to temptation, not given to urges to fall into bad habits, I guess. Prove to yourself that you can follow your rules. And we can go into systemizing your trading, which is a really basic approach, but it helps fix your psychology for people that are really deep inside of the gambling problem of trading. If you've been doing this for a while, I highly recommend doing this, which is just systemizing your trading. Build out a full Miro. Actually, I'll show you. Usually I'd be driving if I was watching psychological lectures, but for the people that are watching this video currently, I have a Miro based on Flex Trades, systemizing your trading, and it gives me a full checklist of every single thing I should be doing, from bias, from conditions, from what I look for entry, everything here. And if this isn't met, I don't take it. And the thing I'm thinking about every single time I'm focusing on executing on my system, I focus on a weekly or monthly goal. I'm really invested in it because I really think it's fun. I really enjoy the process, which enjoying the process for trading is something that's absolutely necessary. You cannot be process focused. Jeez. You cannot be result focused. You have to be focused on the process, focusing on not making money, but focusing on applying it every day and watching how your system will play out. And me personally, I really think it's beautiful. It's a fun thing for me. If I go into some little grind session where I'm focusing on only applying my system and trying to meet the points based requirement by only following the system, it feels like I accomplish a lot. So, for example, what I want for, I'd say, a month or 2 months or 3 months, I want to be making 80 points a week, which that's with 1NQ, that's $1,600 every week trading. So that's my goal with my model. Now I'm going to follow the system and I'm going to meticulously journal what trades I took, were they within the system, and how much points I yielded for the week. So once I figured out and had trust in my system, it became like clockwork. Every single day when I showed up to school, it was like, I'm going to follow my system. I'm going to have 1.6K at the end of this week, or next week's going to make up for it. I'm going to be consistently profitable by making profitable decisions. And just by doing this, it saved me. I felt the most locked in I've ever felt in my life, just showing up to school every day, following a system which I've completely backtested. I know it prints points, I know it will make me money, and it's really fulfilling. It got rid of every single stress I've had in my trading. I never stress out every day about winning, losing, because I knew by the end of the week, I'm more than likely going to have 80 points. But by the end of the month, or 2 months, or 3 months, I'm going to be heavily in the green because I've seen how much the system prints. That's my recommendation to you. Try to systemize your trading and meticulously review yourself. But when you get to that point where you're fully focused on the process of applying your system and you actually love that, not just trying to focus on the results, but focusing on the love of following your system, you become so much more profitable. your trades, your actions, and your overall thought process is so much cleaner. You're not focusing on whatever loss you took the previous day. You're only focusing on applying the system the best you can. And when I'm doing this, I'm not focused on my P&L. I'm not focused on passing an account, or I'm not focused on reaching the payout criteria. I'm focused on how I can apply the system better, how I can like give more effort into the charts, if you know what I mean. Like technical analysis, the best bias, the most in-depth, clean bias I can think of, and just the highest probability trades that make sense. They have logic and they follow my model and my system. And when I only execute on that consistently, that's where I found full peace, real profitability that could be replicated. I had no more guessing, no more doubts. Like, what if my model's not going to work? Which I dealt with for a while. I had so much doubt in my model, which led me to get into every single person's mentorship. Which, not fearing. Fearing is actually really profitable. I really like fearing. Fearing is like more profitable than me. But I'm in Powell's mentorship, Salmon's, PB trading, like every single person in the trading space. I have my friends that join their mentorship and they give me their account, and I go through every single one of their models to make sure that I want my model to be better. I want to see if their model is better. I go back and forth because I had the self-doubt that my model wasn't good because I invented it. It was just from ICT 2023, 2024, some 2025, incorporating some logic from all three of those mentorships and trying to turn it into more of a mechanical slash discretionary model, which just got in the way of my progress. So understanding that this model, backtesting your system, works, your model works by just systemizing it, watching the results, and having a notion for it, it will make you so much more progress. So I think that this is going to be the end of the lecture. First thing I'm going to do, I just want to post one of these if people like it. So if you guys like it, drop your psychological battles in the comments, and I will actually make reviews to most of them probably today, honestly. If you guys actually respond quick enough, hit me up in the comments and I'll make another psychological video answering questions and how I overcame certain stuff. But I think that this is just a real baseline about psychology. I didn't really have a script, I just went straight into it. But for the people that follow me consistently, they've been watching me trade for a while. For the rest of the week until I go on vacation again, I'm going to be live trading. I'm going to be dropping recaps. I'm going to be dropping education, just going all in on everything because my server is dead and I got to revive it. So, you guys have a good one. I'll see you guys later. Leave comments. Tell me if you like it. Tell me if it sucks.